Beautiful. All right, so this is our incredible panel. I'd like you to welcome on my, oh God, that was a moment of, is it my right? It's my right. Pointing with my left hand though, that got really confusing. Thank you, Val. You can help me with my right and left. Sophia Davis is Lively's partnership manager. We're going to find out what Lively is in a moment when we ask that direct question of Sophia. But she's been working with Lively since 2021. And obviously that is all about caring and centering relationships at the heart of care and working partnerships. And I love this. Your quote is, at Lively, we move at the speed of trust. I want us all to move at the speed of trust. Thank you. Give her a round of applause. It does feel good, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. She wanted it louder. If you could just provide that now for Sophia. Sitting beside Sophia is Anya, 19 years old. Is it okay that we give your age? Is that ageist? She's a human that is of an age. And she's been working at Lively as a Lively helper since March 2024. So you've clocked up a year and a bit. She's studying to be a high school teacher and loves playing football and reading. This sounds like a dating show. What she loves about working with her Lively members is being able to make a genuine difference to their day-to-day lives, all while actually forming bonds with some incredible humans that you've met along the way. She will ask you to do it again if you don't do it well enough the first time. So please give Anya a round of applause. And beside me, a woman who knows her left from her right. She's been a treasured... Sometimes. We do have those moments, don't we?
That's right.
Yeah. I'll forgive you.
They're called a senior one.
I'm having senior moments all the time. Val's been a treasured, loyal, Lively member since 2020 and has worked with 3 different Lively helpers. She loves the warmth and dedication of the whole Lively team and the professional quality of the tech training that the helper provides. Do you want to hear a round of applause for you?
No.
Come on! That was an awkward moment, Val, because you didn't give me consent, and we need consent.
I'd actually like that applause to be towards Lively because they have been making such a difference to my life, and the young people who I've had help train me, it's just a credit to the Lively group.
Unfortunately, Val, that answer in itself makes sure that we will be clapping very loudly for you.
And Val
so you're already proof in thesis, my friend.
and sorry, Val is not being paid to be here. Just like, make that clear.
All right, let's kick off with Sophia, because what is Lively? Obviously, we get a sense that this is an intergenerational program, but what and why and all the rest?
Thank you. Can everyone hear me okay? Yes. So some of you in the room already know Lively, but we're a not-for-profit. We run intergenerational programs, so we hire young adults between the ages of 18 and 25 to provide support and companionship, like a buddy program to seniors. And we have 2 programs, so we run in-home help, which is what Anya does with Val. And that's typically in partnership with councils through CHISP funding, also with different aged care providers through home care package funding. And it's kind of like having a personal assistant on the day that can come in and do whatever the person wants. It's usually tech help, so digital literacy is huge, social gardening, transport out and about, personal projects, which is a really huge, broad scope and really up to the individuals what they want to do. It could be writing family history, it could be mosaicing a bird bath, and the other one, help around the home, which is domestic assistance, but it's also doing really helpful, useful things like bagging up stuff to take to the op shop or decluttering a space or just whatever they need on the day. So it's entry-level help. No personal care. And what else can I say about Lively? It's an amazing organisation. I just feel like the messenger who's very lucky to work there and talk about how wonderful it is. We see a lot of professional development with the helpers because they're learning a lot of leadership skills, transferable skills. And for the older people, they're getting this wonderful, willing, capable pair of hands, as a buddy. And what's really important for us at Lively is the relationship, and that it's mutually beneficial. So the older person gets to be a bit of a mentor for the younger person, and the younger person, gets to know a wonderful older person and learn all these great skills as they're starting out in their working career.
Now, I'm going to get to both of you in just a moment, Anya and Val, but I want to ask again, Sophia, like this has been, we'll find out. We'll actually ask the real questions of this pairing in a moment. But how do you make sure that you actually match people really well? Because this is not, this is as it should always be, but whole person. This is how we relate to each other as humans. How do you get the match right?
Yeah, interesting question and kind of an interesting answer, because when we first started, it was very, very personalised and manual, and I used to personally speak to all the members coming on board and match them individually with their helper. And as we've grown, we just don't have capacity to do that. What we actually have is an internal jobs board. So it's just changed his title. Our COO has developed an in-house app for the Lively helpers, which Anya can talk about. So everything at her fingertips, so she can see when jobs come up. We have a matching team who is supporting the match. So they'll monitor who says they're interested in working with a member in their local area. So we're looking at proximity between the older person and the younger person. It's really important that it's someone, most of the time from their community, so they have that local knowledge. Then whatever needs, there might be language needs. So sometimes wherever we can, we provide the support in the native language of the older person. So we'll look at the needs, and then if the helper who's clicked interested fits all those needs, then the match goes ahead. But sometimes they might not have the language, or we might not be able to match certain interests, similar interests. But that's where people get to know each other and share their different interests, and wonderful relationships blossom. So it's not as personalised as it was, but it's overseen to make sure that, say, someone with some higher needs will typically go with a more experienced helper. But I'll let you two talk about your... Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it. Anya, I want to know, why did you get involved? I mean, we know that the benefits to you are massive. Were you aware of that before you applied? Or what was your thinking about wanting to be, someone working with an older person?
Well, to be honest, I really needed a job. And I got started with Lively when I was in my gap year. So I had just finished high school. I didn't really know where I wanted to go in life. I knew that I was going to start university, but I was really tired from year 12. I didn't want to go into university. So I was kind of looking at things that I could do in my gap year that would, A, help me earn some money, and B, give me some sort of enriching life experience, which in the end is really what I got out of Lively and what I still get out of Lively today. I think just that ability to learn. I learned so much from my members. I've improved just in my communication skills and my interpersonal skills so much from when I started. I think when you're in school, and even when you finish school, when you're a young person, you don't have all these opportunities to speak to people that are outside your age range, especially people who are sort of at the opposite end of your age range, right? When you're in school, all your classmates were born literally within a year of you. So finishing high school and then coming out of that and thinking, where can I get the most different thing possible? That was kind of my thinking as well.
That's actually really insightful that you didn't necessarily have this perspective on what you would gain from it, but you've actually obviously gained a whole lot. And breaking down some of the ageist stereotypes that we talk about all the time, what's been one of the things that you feel like you've actually gained an insight in around the age difference, the generations?
I think definitely there's not that not as much difference as I thought. Like, we still laugh, we still have the same jokes. I personally share a lot of interest with a lot of my helpers. I love reading, I love crochet and tea, and like a lot of my members really enjoy those things as well. So I think just bridging those gaps, I think we all have something in common. There are so many things that I, of course, have in common with my members that I didn't necessarily think that I would have. Like, my family are Italian, and in Darebin, which is where I do a lot of my work, there is a lot of Italian older people, and just having that shared cultural experience has been something that's really beneficial to me, especially as someone who has lost both of my grandparents.
Oh gosh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to know, before I move on to you, Val, I cannot wait. Anya, when you talk to other lively support, what do we call? Helpers.
Yeah.
What's sort of the conversations that you have with each other? Do you have a similar experience with the work that you do?
Oh, totally. It's Lively is like a bit of a different job in that when I'm doing my in-home sessions, I don't experience that with other helpers. It's just me and the member, right? Obviously, I see some of the helpers at our community sessions which we run, and that's always really nice, but often we're doing other things in that time, so we don't have a lot of time to talk about our various activities. But we have what's called helper meetups. So every 2 months, we as an organisation meet up, and those are those spaces where we can really trade stories and share both the wins and some of the challenges that we're having, and then be able to brainstorm and share ideas with each other about how to overcome some of the potential difficulties that we have. And that was something that was really valuable to me, especially when I was starting out at Lively, because I think Lively is one of those jobs, and I'm sure a lot of people would understand this as well, like in the aged care industry, the training that you do before doesn't really prepare you for, it can't really prepare you for what comes, because it's so personal and it's so relational. So when you have the opportunity to speak with other helpers about what's going on, you gain a real appreciation for the benefits of Lively as a whole. Yeah, it's really cool.
I love it. Such great insights from your perspective, and I'm going to get more off you, but I need to go to Val. Val, I'm going to talk to you now about your experience of Lively. I want to know, how did you find Lively, and what made you interested in that kind of work?
That was rather interesting, because one of the Darebin members lived fairly near to me, and she gave me a name, which was Sophia, with a mobile number and on this scrunchy bit of paper, and said, this might be of interest to you if it's not just put in the bin. And I thought, well, if she's been kind enough to do that, I'm going to ring. And I spoke to Sophia, and that's where it started. And Sophia introduced me to young Nate, who was my first helper, because I, at 19, contracted glaucoma, and I didn't even know how you spell glaucoma. Didn't know you got eye diseases then, so it went undiagnosed until I was 28. And so I have lost gradually a lot of sight. They told me nearly 50 years ago I'd be blind in 6 to 12 months. Well, I've still got 5% of sight, and that's where people like Anya are just fantastic, because she's a very switched on and intelligent young lady with a good intensity of just knowing how to impart her knowledge across. So we've got a Spirex book. I write during the week any questions I have on the left-hand page. When she comes, she writes the answers, so how to solve these, on the right-hand page. And it's working fantastically. I did that with Nate when he was with me. And Anya is really the female equivalent of Nate. They're both lovely people, and I can't thank the Lively group for just starting up what they did and just the independence it's still allowing me to have. And I want to, as long as I can, live in my own home independently. And all this technology study is helping me enormously.
Wonderful. I want to know, because I asked Anya the same question about possible, I guess, misunderstandings we have about each other in different generations. What's it been like having young people come and be so intimate with you and helping you in your day? Has anything changed around the way you've thought about young people?
No, because I mix out in wide circles. I do a lot of travel and I'm in several groups. I've always enjoyed, I think you can learn from the very young or the very old, right the spectrum through. And I love each and every generation and what it brings. And this young lady, I don't know about her, she probably goes home with a headache sometimes, but from my point of view, it wasn't any worries from the first time I opened the door and we saw each other.
I think it would be hard to have worries with you, Val. I think you make it easy not to have any worries.
I have a friend that might disagree with you there, but...
You know what? They're not here, so we don't listen to them at all. And so for you, it's been now, what? It's been 4 or 5 years?
I think it was...
2020?
Yes, it was about then. It might have even been a fraction before that. And Nate and I, he rang, thanks to the Lively group, and over the phone we knew we were going to get on well together. We just clicked and we talked for an hour, and I will have him as a lifetime friend now. And it's wonderful to see Anya, because she is a clever young lady, and for her to take on English and history in secondary schooling, I hope later on.
We'll see.
She's going to do it fantastically. She's a very natural and she explains things so easily. And we're just taking on a new program in the technology study because she's helped me with my mobile phone, the computer, showing me and writing down all of the dishwashing, programs. The same with my washing machine. What have I missed out on? There's a computer,
the TV.
TV. Yes.
And you do get to a problem and go, God, I don't know how to solve that.
Well, I'm a fairly positive person, and there's always a way.
There's always a way.
So you just delegate. And yes, I might be leaning very heavily on her shoulder, but she hasn't collapsed yet.
She's got good shoulders,
Yes.
I can tell you. And yeah, I want to ask you as well, Val just used the word friendship. And obviously, because this is such human work, and you meet each other in vulnerability, really, in a lot of ways, you and perhaps people that you're working with, to really show who you are. Is friendship something you would describe that happens as a helper?
Yeah, totally. I think having a good relationship makes everything so much easier. I never feel down about going to work. I'm always excited, and it's just an incredible opportunity because you do spend that purposeful time together, and you begin to share elements of your life with people that you might not otherwise have that relationship with. So although we do focus on technology, we still talk about what's been happening in our lives, we still catch up, we still share stories, and I think that is just as beneficial as the meat of it, the technology help as well. And that's something that I have experienced with all of my members as well.
Because that's part of breaking down ageist concepts, isn't it? Is that we're actually all humans.
Yes.
Having very similar experiences, just in different ways perhaps. We all fall in love, we all have heartbreak, we all have families. You know, we have experiences that are the same. Is that what you found as well in terms of building friendship, Val, with some of the people that you've had come into your home?
Well, I love people, and 95% of people I've found fantastic. I always look on the optimistic half glass full thing, and I've got this mental picture of a necklace of life, and every friendship is a gem on that necklace. And I love life, and I haven't any real fears or worries that in the future I'll always have someone there that if you reach out to them and ask for help, the help's there.
Why didn't I meet you before I wrote my book? But it reflects very much some of that wonderful stage of life where you can actually look at the whole piece of life and have a really positive perspective about it.
Well, I think it's past that I'm world. I said to a couple of people earlier, my son was living at Narooma, and one day, even though I use a cane all of the time, and usually when people come up to say, could I help you? A lot of the time I'm fine. And that happened up there this day. And when people come and say that, I think they've stopped in whatever they were doing to be kind enough to come to assist me. And I said, that'd be lovely, thank you. So I said that to this young lady, and she helped me through. And I said, look, could I chat you a coffee across the road in the cafe? And she said, hesitated, no. She said, but I'd love to come for a coffee with you. So I said, okay, we'll go Dutch. And then we were 3/4 of an hour talking away, and my son, who has location tracking on, came in because he'd wondered what had happened to me because I was walking around the bay up there, and he came to the door and he said, sprung you. Well, that lady helped me, and so then, when I'd left, she didn't have a car, so my son used to go and pick her up once a week and take her shopping.
Get out of here!
No,
Oh,
it was
Val! I can't even. Your perspective of the world is what we need in that real shift into breaking down barriers between each other and speaking and having coffees is such a wisdom. And thank you for sharing that. Anya, I feel like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, just like on that connection, I think something that Lively has really taught me is to find there's so much value in being able to share what you've been up to and your day. I find that a lot of my members have such a range of experiences and they have such different lives. Like Val is very active. I know, like when I go talk to her, she'll tell me 7 things she's done in the week. But for some of my other members, they're very much confined to their homes. So it's about finding other ways of thinking, okay, what did you do this week? Oh, nothing. But then you think, oh, but what did you really do this week? And then sometimes we'll spend half an hour talking about the various pros and cons of the latest meal delivery, frozen meal delivery. And I think in that space you can find so many exciting things. And I think that's one of the benefits. I feel like some of my members are very much isolated, and I know that isolation is something that we often talk about, but just being able to provide that 2 hours of conversation and connection that they know is going to happen fortnightly, weekly, whatever, I think provides a real benefit for me as much as them.
Oh, please, Sophia.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to go off what you just said, Anya, that some of our members say that knowing that their helper is coming, they'll get dressed up nicely and, you know, they just feel like, and they want to make the house look nice for that occasion. So it gives them something to look forward to. And also, I forgot to say before that a large purpose of Lively is combating ageism in both cohorts. And just like you were saying before, Jacinta, getting to know someone and having that common human experience. Yeah.
I'm so interested, I'm going to hear from you again, but I might go back to Anya really quickly because I want to know about that combating ageism. Obviously that's happening for you at a personal level. How do you see your cohort of people, younger people, we'll put them in that bucket. I mean, do you hear things now and you're like, no, that's not true? Or are you feeling like there is a bit of a shift happening in the younger generation around perspectives of ageing?
It's difficult to say. It's not really something. I think the biggest problem is not so much like language, but more so the lack of any kind of relationships with older people. I think especially when we were kids, it would be quite common, or like grandparents would share a big role in, you know, childcare and stuff. But as you grow older, sometimes those relationships kind of fall away. And I think that that's more of a problem in combating ageism, is just the lack of time that's spent between young people and older people. Not so much like blatant ageism in conversation, but just that lack of understanding of what it might be like to be an older person.
Do you wish more of your friends did it?
Yeah, I love Lively. I think all of my friends would be good helpers just because I love my friends, and I think the biggest skill you need to be a good helper is just kindness and empathy. I don't think it's all about that relational aspect more than anything. So, yeah.
Such beautiful insights. Sophia, I do want to ask you, because from that level of finding these incredible people, how do you make sure those people, that the workers, the helpers, are they qualified? They obviously don't have particular skills in aged care. How do we know that they're going to be okay in those spaces?
Yeah, great question, and something that comes up a bit, are they qualified? No, they're not. So we don't require any previous experience or any qualifications in aged care or care, because we're providing an accessible entry point into the aged care sector for people who may have never considered work in a care-related career, and some of them do go on to change their trajectory of their studies, which is fantastic. Also, because we're working with young people and it's casual work, we typically don't know, we want to work with what's going to work for the young people, so we don't know how long we'll have them for. So it's, quite an undertaking to go and get the qualification. So we wanted to remove those barriers, and also rewinding to why Lively started. Anna Donaldson, Lively's founder, was inspired to start Lively because she was volunteering to write the life story of an older person named Patricia, and she realised how lonely this person was, and she really got to know her. And at the same time, she was aware of youth unemployment, and so she had this light bulb moment and thought, let's put the two together. So we don't require any previous experience. We hire purely on an attributes basis. So as Anya said, they need to be kind. They need to show that they're interested in working with older people and learning from older people. Also, obviously, being able to run a schedule and be punctual and well presented. But we're really fostering all those skills in the young people that we work with. And to answer the other part of your question, how do we know that they're safe, or keeping the older person safe in their sessions? They do go through a lot of training with Lively around OH&S and infection control and professional boundaries, because pretty much most of our helpers and members become really good friends. So then, by virtue of the helper being naturally a very helping, kind person, sometimes the boundaries, could be blurred, but the helpers, through their ongoing training every couple of months and talking with peers and working it out together, learn how to manage those boundaries, and also they're equipped with ways to handle maybe some requests that they don't feel comfortable with. As far as safety, they're all trained in emergency response. I think, was that the whole question?
Yeah, just looking at that, Val, you want to say something too?
I was going to say, for all of the younger people here, don't worry about ageing, because it's great fun. I could do with 12 days in a week. Someone was mentioning decluttering earlier on. Well, I get a bit growled at about that, because I think when my tap on the shoulder comes, if I'm not ready, I'm going to say, could I have a rain check, please, because I've got a bit to do yet. And really, I wouldn't say that my house will ever be on the front of Home Beautiful, because I've got bits around everywhere. I am trying to declutter, but I don't really care, because it's clean and it's mainly neat. But look, just get out there and live life to the full is my recommendation. I'll be 80 in a few months, and I've got a lot I want to achieve yet.
That's beautiful, Val. It's so good to hear your words today. One of my 95-year-old friends said to me recently, I've got no time to die. I've got so much to do. We're going to get some questions from you as well that you can kind of pitch to anyone on the panel. Is there a microphone running around? You know what? I'll run around. If anyone's got a question, can I come? I'll come over to you first. I always feel like Tony Barber when I do this. Hi.
Hi, so just a query about Lively itself. How do people get linked into Lively? Is there an age limit for your helpers? And is it like rolled out to most of the suburbs around? So I know it's got Brimbank, Darebin, Marybeck. I'm in Moonee Valley. Does it offer in Moonee Valley?
Good question. So at the moment, our largest cohort of helpers are in the north. And so we have partnerships with Darebin City Council and Marybeck, City of Marybeck, for in-home CHISP. It's under social support individual. So if anyone has clients in those LGAs, they can connect them either directly through a MAC referral and put Lively, or contact the positive healthy ageing teams at those councils. I also forgot to mention that we also do, so I mentioned 2 programs. One is the in-home program, the other one is our digital literacy community tech help programs that we run in partnerships with councils and libraries. And we also do a lot of work through Be Connected grants. So basically, if you have a community venue and older people who are needing digital literacy support, we can help you to get a grant and we can come to you. So that would be north, inner west. We also have presence and programs down on the Mornington Peninsula. We're very, very interested, I'll just spruik, at setting up the in-home help in the city of Moonee Valley and Maribyrnong, because it just makes sense for where our helpers are. We've got some digital literacy programs happening later in the year with Brimbank. We've just run our first ever all-in-language digital literacy program in Mandarin in the City of Melbourne at Nam Nagu Library and North Melbourne Library, and we're looking at rolling that out into Vietnamese in the City of Melbourne and in Brimbank. But if anyone's interested in getting a Lively helper, they'd need to either be on CHISP funding with Darebin or Marybeck, or if they're in another council area, contact their healthy ageing team, as long as they're still running CHISP, or have a home care package. And then they can put their care manager in contact with me. Or just go to the Lively website. Yeah. Oh, sorry, that was the other one. So we hire between 18 to 25. We don't boot them out the door when they turn 25, but that's the age limit. We have dispensation to hire at that, at that range, because we are largely philanthropically funded, and so for it to be that intergenerational work, that's the age range.
Great question, very good answer. Anyone else have a question for our panel in any way, shape or form? You can.
Thank you very much. Look, for me it's new, lovely. It's the first time I'm hearing, and your program is fantastic. I was thinking, why don't you connect that with the home share program, where you give the choice to the client, to the person or the person, to choose a helper to live with her or with him, instead of in exchange of some accommodation.
I love that. There is someone who started, and I've Jacinta Duffy, if anyone knows her. I know, I think that's her name. It is, she's started up an initiative where it is exactly that. So older people, I think it's called Home Share. I think if you Google, you'll find it. And she sets up that an older person who has some spare bedrooms can rent at a very, don't quote me, it's either very low rental
in exchange
or it's
of
even
some
free
home
for
care
a
assistance.
university student to live there and do some cleaning and have that intergenerational connection. Yeah.
Wonderful, thank you. Any more questions, or should we let our panel come and sit down? And we need to say a massive thank you, Sophia, Anya and Val. Thank you so much for sharing your experience.